Welcome to today's episode, everyone. We've got a very exciting guest for you guys. For those of you just joining the podcast, we're E.N.G Media, and we specialize in helping software and technology companies scale their revenue. So if you want to learn how to take your software or tech business to the next level, make sure to stick around. But without further ado, Jove, thank you so much for joining me today on the podcast. I'm really excited just to dive into your journey and then also talk a bit about your company, Timeplus, as well. So really appreciate you coming on today.
Justin, I'm so glad to have this talk with you and share my experience with the audience.
Awesome, man. Yeah. So, like I said, I've been really excited for this one. I think, it might be best if we just start by maybe you covering a little bit of your background leading up to this point. Like I know you have extensive experience, as a software engineer, managing teams, but I really would love to find out kind of what's led you up to the point of starting Time Plus, really.
Yeah, believe it or not, I've been in this software engineering enterprise software for more than 22 years,
Wow.
and it's really a journey for me to start my journey at a big companies such as IBM and E.N.G, right? So it's very structured corporate and they have a very good software engineering process, and they are working
Yeah.
with very big clients. But the problem for those big corporate that is you work on a very small piece of it, and you work
Ah,
hard, you follow the process, everything is well documented, well tested, and so what. And maybe it's just one of the small components of the bigger deployment, and
right.
you may not get good enough customer feedback, and your skill is very narrowed for a certain specific domain. So
100%.
actually, my career is I go to very big company like IBM, I guess over 300,000 folks, and go to E.N.C, more
Uh-huh.
like storage and the cloud company. I go to Splunk, about
Wow.
10,000 ish, and now it's part of Cisco corporations. And also now I'm part
Oh,
of
nice.
the my own company, Timeplus, as a co-founder, and we are much smaller. So I really enjoyed that is I can uh, take a bigger role, but have a
Yeah.
smaller team, have a more influence, work on different product, and also more motivates me that is I can have direct talk to the customer, to the partners, to the ecosystem, so that me as
100%.
a co-founder, especially work on the product management, community building, partnership, and the solution, so I can take the first-hand information and not just follow the book, do the thing manager talk to, and that's more like what's the right thing we can do to make the customer happy and help the
Nice.
company to go to the next step. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that. I appreciate you giving us some insights really into your background as well. And so I feel like kind of from what you just said to me right now, you're able to drive more impact, for the data engineers that you guys are working for, allowing them really to leverage like the real-time analytics through, your guys' platforms. And I know that you guys work in a multitude of different industries like financial services, telecommunications, manufacturing, technology. I think it would be helpful, not only for me, but maybe even for our listeners, if you could maybe just describe like a use case that comes to mind, maybe a really awesome project that you've worked on that maybe you could speak to, and kind of like what that looked like what your team came in and did, and really how it was able to drive, a good result, I guess, for your client.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and yeah, I guess before I share more about details, let me try
Uh-huh.
to summarize what we do at Tempest. Right.
Sure.
So Tempest is a stream first real-time data platform. Right. I'm not sure
Nice.
how how familiar people in that kind of domain. Right. People really enjoy like big data and the real-time data and the streaming. Right. So all the AI or the security observability,
Mm,
they require very high quality real-time data, right? So that they can make the right decision or
yeah.
at least train the right model and do the right thing. And our products can help people in the data team to build a real-time data pipeline to
Nice.
move data from one place to the other place. And
Hmm.
this may sound quite simple, but the reality that is an average company may have hundreds of SaaS and different databases. And it's
Oh,
very
wow.
difficult to consolidate data from different places into one system and also
Yeah.
do this correlation search, right? So you have to making sure every single data is well correlated. So for example, this is product ID, this is the customer address,
Mm.
Everything can be put in CRM in different system, and your goal is to put all the data and in a single place and put them in the right format and also with low latency, right? So
Uh,
since Timeplus is such a platform focusing on the real-time part, so our kind of ICP, ideal customer profile, is
uh,
really the team who need a high quality data in the low latency
uh,
scenarios. So one of the best one is fintech or
okay.
trading or post trading. So they have a lot of data on the market, and they call
Absolutely.
ticks, and they needed to figure out whether there's any buy or sell signals, and or
Uh,
there's a term called post trading analysis. That is, they needed to keep monitoring all the transactions to making sure their customers in the uh, right portfolio or the right strategy. No one
oh
really
wow.
doing the wrong thing. Right? For example, someone try to over trading, try to
Uh,
manipulate the price using different accounts. So no matter
mm,
for the regulation purpose or uh, for the health of the platform, we needed to understand what's the trading patterns, whether anyone doing the wrong thing. And some other real-time scenarios is, for example,
uh,
e-commerce, right? So they have all the transactions happening on their we call OLTP, which is typically like MySQL, Postgres, RDS. But those
yeah.
system is great for transactions, right? So but it's always a
100%.
bad pattern if you do massive analytics workload on those transaction platforms because it will slow down everything. So very common thing that is they have a lot of data, say thousands of table on one uh, MySQL databases, and they needed to move them into OLTP, OLAP system, for example, like ClickHouse, like
Mm,
Snowflake. But moving data
yep.
from those systems, and it's not really that easy, as I mentioned. That is, there's too many tables, there can be
Right.
correlations, and the Templars can play a very important role to move data in the right way and to so they
Yeah.
can build a real-time report. So yeah,
100.
so uh, fintech, post trading, e-commerce.
Nice.
We also do a little bit on the DDoS detection because every time you have a massive real-time data and you
Uh,
are having trouble to analyze or process them in the real time, I guess maybe Timeplus is can be one of the options to help you. Yeah.
oh wow. Yeah, no, that's super awesome. And what the example that really stood out to me was the e-commerce example. I actually have a background, working in marketing for an e-commerce company, and kind of what I seen was a lot of their data was siloed as far as like, their paid advertising spend, and a lot of where their transaction was coming from. They'd have trouble knowing like which side of the website, whether it was like their mobile view, their desktop view, like where were these sales
Mhm.
really coming from? And they were never really able to make a data driven decision that could help them drive like more revenue impact. And that was really like a big pain point for them. So it's interesting to hear your perspective as head of product on like how you and your team come in and you kind of help streamline that entire process and really help them get a strong handle over everything. And so, that really leads me to my next question, which is like, what's your take on like a full open sourcing, like fully open sourcing, I guess, a data platform? Does open source always pay off really in terms of, adoption, innovation, or do you think maybe something like that could backfire for a data company?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess for a while, open source was the only right way, but now people
Oh wow.
have different questions, especially all the drama you see regarding,
Uh,
for example, Electrosearch, the fight with Amazon, and for example,
mm,
Redis, they change back and forth, all those things. So it's more like, hey, do you like spicy food? I guess people will say no, so we will say yes, depends on who you ask.
yeah.
And for us, our again, I'm sharing my experience. May not be the
Sure.
typical case, but for us, our products, our company already be there for a little bit over 3 years, and we
Oh
actually
nice.
the first delivery on the market actually is our SaaS, right?
Oh wow.
So because we are the team is very experienced on enterprise software and also big data and the streaming processing, so almost half year since we found our company, we have our MVP of the product,
Nice.
and we put this onto AWS as a SaaS, right? And half a year later, we have all the integration with Stripe, with billing systems, and all the
Oh, wow.
tech support even, right? So multi-tenant things. So we start from SaaS. However,
Yeah.
maybe it's just because our nature of our domain is that
Uh-huh.
is we solve the real-time problem, the low latency problem, right? For example, if we are being attacked, and
Hmm.
whether you can give the alert maybe 1 or 2 minutes, or even you can automate your firewall to
Yep.
throttle that IP address, right? So everything is very latency sensitive, right? So we are talking
Uh-huh.
about seconds or even sub-second, and having a SaaS solution
Uh-huh.
is not that ideal because we are not really Snowflake. You can considering us as a low latency version of Snowflake, but
Mm.
we are talking about sub-second level, and it's too expensive to send your data to the cloud and go back. And
Yeah.
especially many of our customers use Timeplus integrate with their own transaction system, payment
Mm.
system, log systems on the local file system or local Kafka cluster. So uh, if you use a public cloud service, you have to set up something like VPC
Uh,
peering or all those private link. It's not cheap, and also it's still slow regarding the performance. So
yeah.
so later on we figure out that is on the SaaS platform we only can get those individual developers or
Uh,
those users who are not that care about the low latency. They are really enjoy those
nice.
manage the service, and they enjoy the nice UI, maybe the good support from us. But because they don't really appreciate so much regarding the low latency, so that's
Yeah.
not the best way to show our strengths. So
Yeah.
later on, and also when we talk to the developers, it's very common to say, "Hey, can I try this on my laptop? Are you
Uh-huh.
open source? Can I check your component design or even some of the code or bug fix? Can I check your PR stuff like that?" So
Nice.
it's very hard not to open source if
Yeah.
you are working on data infra or data infrastructure. Um, and also we also want to keep our business in a more sustainable way, right? And
Yeah.
so we have some debate internally, and in the end our decision that is we choose this open core model, that is our core engine is open sourced.
Mm.
However, if you need a more enterprise feature, for example, you need a role-based access control, you need a HA, high
Hmm.
availability, or those cluster, or even just like on-call support, then you have to purchase our enterprise license or have a
Gotcha.
different binary for you to deploy. So I guess it should be a good balance. That is, if you just exploring this vendor space and want to choose something right for you, you can try our open source version.
Yeah.
And if you enjoy the feature and you want to set up a cluster, you want to integrate with your authentication system, then you have to purchase our enterprise so that we can uh, allocate the right resource to help you.
Nice.
So and we still maintain our open source core engine, and many of the feature actually we try in the enterprise side because we have very
Hmm.
close communication with our customers. They give a good feedback, and those
Nice.
features we eventually move them into the core engine so that the open source community can also benefit from that. Yeah.
Oh,
Again,
wow.
I know there's many company they also try different models. For example,
Uh,
some company they choose to open source everything,
uh,
including the cluster, including the enterprise features, and they only charge for like technical support, right?
uh,
That's one model, but and but also there's a challenge that is how you can encourage the users or the customer talk to you and have
right.
the positive feedback, because sometimes the developer can be too experienced and have good hands-on experience, and they may not have to talk to you, right? And you lose the opportunity to hear the feedback. Yeah, there's always a
100%.
balance, and at least this
Yeah.
is what I think this works well for us.
100%. Yeah. I mean, there's so many different little nuances to really that thought process, kind of like from what you were saying as well. And what really stood out to me, kind of going through your guys' website is that you were able to help, one of your clients fully transform the way that they deliver their data to their customers. And so I always like to, highlight any kind of really successful use cases. So, in this scenario, you guys were able to help them reduce their infrastructure costs by over 50%, more than a 60% reduction in their memory usage as well. And it seems like what they were doing is they had like an Ethereum chain. Could you maybe like walk us through kind of, what that use case really was? Just for maybe like those, and myself included, that might not kind of understand really how your guys' process works.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. I mean, sometimes things can be too abstract if we're talking about the big term and the
Yeah.
gesture. But yeah, so for example, this our one of our best customer, Sala, right? So they also join some of our podcast, and we have a
Oh,
blog for
nice.
that. So they are in this e-commerce space,
Mm,
and and they have like tons of thousand customers on
mhm.
selling products on their platform, right? And they are, I guess it's more like
No.
Amazon to some degree. Like is they have people can sell product on their platform and all the
Oh, nice.
shippings, all the customer support, everything there. And they are a typical e-commerce platform, and they
Uh,
have too many they call talents, right? Everyone have to have their data isolated, and they have
mm,
there maybe some people may even on different versions, right? And they are using MySQL, which is a very typical OLTP transactional database, and they set
nice.
up easily. There can be thousands of tables, right? Because as I mentioned,
Uh-huh.
that is, they have to making sure people put the data in the right table and have the isolation, so
Oh,
there's no
wow.
chance you can query somewhere else the data, right?
Mhm.
And also each table or each database need to be put into the right kind of tuning parameter, making sure they are fast, they are in the right versions. And but again, the fundamental thing they try to do that is making sure all the data in the transaction database, which is MySQL in the case,
Uh-huh.
can be analyzed in the real time so that every single customer of
Uh-huh.
their platform can run the right reports, can get the real time alerts, and also in the
Mm,
same time, I mean, everyone doing AI to some degree, right? AI, machine learning, natural language processing to some degree. So they also
yep.
needed to making sure all the data can be put in the right format, and so that their machine learning team, their AI team, can
Uh,
get the right high quality data and train the model and refine it so that the platform can answer more relevant questions
oh, wow.
to guide the users. So all in all, it's a fundamental. I mean, this thing had been doing repeatedly for the
Uh-huh.
past say 5 or 10 or 15 years, but right now it's it's higher requirement regarding the real time because people
Gotcha.
are less patient, right? Because when you order a Uber, you want to see where the car is. When you order DoorDash, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
everyone is less patient. They think real time is the default, right? So why I run a report, I have to get it tomorrow morning. So I won't get it now, right? If not next
Right.
minute. So and also the machine learning or the AI is a strong need. So they are
Mm,
facing the challenge that is without Timeplus, they have
mhm.
to leverage the building Kafka integration in ClickHouse. ClickHouse is one of the best real-time OLAP database. It's
Uh-huh.
available as open source, but also have a cloud SaaS offering. But
Mm,
I would say it's a basic integration with Kafka. Kafka, by the way, is one of the best real-time platform that is, you can consider this as I'm not sure people in the audience familiar with the idea about queue, but anyway, that is you can put random data
uh-huh.
from different places into one place, and someone else will take it. So
Oh,
that
wow.
it's more like we call enterprise bus or something like that.
Uh-huh.
That is you don't have to worry about to worry about that is I have to send a message from this system to the other system. You only needed to send it to a central place.
Oh,
They
wow.
have different they call topic and other services, other program can consume data from particular topic. So it's decoupling the
Oh, wow.
logic, right? So
Uh-huh.
it's very common for enterprise to do that. But the problem again that is the ClickHouse have very basic integration with Kafka and
Mm,
to read the data from Kafka and also to uh, transform in the right way, they needed to create a different systems or module inside ClickHouse, and it's not
gotcha.
cheap. right? So for
Sure.
example, if you only needed to get data from one MySQL table, you will set up one ClickHouse table using the Kafka engine, but you cannot query it. You have to use a materials view to query it, and materials view
Oh
to
wow.
put it into the other table, and do a bunch of joins. So everything you can
Yeah.
do in ClickHouse, but it's too heavy. So
Yeah.
and making ClickHouse uh, the server load too high and even slow down the ultimate query from ClickHouse. So
Mm,
how Timeplus solve the problem that is we are in the middle of the ClickHouse and the
mhm.
Kafka. So we do all those the streaming processing, and we join all the data, and we put the right data into ClickHouse in the right format. For example, there's
Oh,
no
nice.
sensitive data, everything is data is lookup. Then ClickHouse doing the thing they are very good at, which is do the query, serving the
Uh,
data, driving the BI, and so I guess the title I put in this case study
uh-huh.
is do more with less, right? So I guess this is a cliche, but the really thing that is with this time pass, you can reduce the load of ClickHouse and
Gotcha.
have because time pass is much better real time engine and yes, you create an extra server for campus, but
Hmm.
you reduce, as you said, that is half of the ClickHouse server load, or even you keep
Right.
the current server of ClickHouse, you can put 2x, 3x more workload into your current deployment, right? So you can
Oh wow.
do more with less. That is
Yeah.
how campus can benefit because we are expert of this stream processing and
Uh,
uh, one of our tagline on our website is offload the real-time processing from your OLAP. So let the OLAP, let Snowflake, let ClickHouse do the thing they can do
yep.
very well, which is serving, but they are not really a good platform for streaming, and we are. And
Uh,
let's play the role, yeah, to do more with less.
100%. That's awesome. Yeah, I appreciate you breaking
Yeah.
that down for us, Jove. I know, I bet that they're glad that they had you to work on that project as well, because from at least for me as well, I would have been completely lost into how to make that optimization. But out of curiosity as well, from a marketing perspective, I'm always curious, like how are similar companies to like the example that we just talked about, how are you guys bringing awareness to like all this stuff that you can work on? I'm sure because it sounds like you guys have a really, really solid product in Timeplus, but so I'm sure like, there's referrals and there's word of mouth as far as like how people are getting in touch with you. But really, other than
Mhm.
that, have you guys deployed any kind of specific go-to-market strategies, or has there been anything that's worked really well for you that maybe you could share with the audience that might be able to help them?
Yeah, sure, Tyson. And I would say our company is still at early stage of go to market, right? Because we
Sure.
are building streaming engine or platform, and this
Yeah.
require a lot of engineering efforts. So is
Nice.
our focus for the past 2 3 years. And
Yeah.
recently we have some try on the SaaS part, and now we fully embrace this on-prem or BYOC, bring your own cloud deployment.
Hmm.
And our experience, again, this is just more like data points, and the people might have different practice if you want to think
Uh-huh.
about that. But for us, because we focus a lot on those customer who have strong need on the low latency, high
Yeah.
performance, and complex data processing, and we call it they have I know cancer may not be the right term, but they have
Mhm.
such big issue. They desperated to find the issue,
Mhm.
to have the issue solved and find the right problem, have the right tool to solve the issues, right? And
Right.
so we are not really average data platform or
Right.
data pipeline companies. We are works very well for those company. They have this big issue. They cannot find some other platform can
Right.
solve their issues. So you can say this is niche,
Hmm.
and but this is also our choice because, as you said, there's some other players in our space,
Hmm.
some open source versions or some SaaS versions, and they don't really give the customer the low latency part, but they might have
Absolutely.
bigger coverage and they might be cheaper or even completely free. So
Mhm.
it's very hard to compete with everyone. So our choice
Right.
is we identify our ideal customer who, for example, in the fintech, in the
Hmm.
cybersecurity, in the e-commerce space, they need to get data from A to B
Yeah.
at second level, and they have very complex setup, and
Yeah.
they cannot get this in some other tools. So um, we leveraged our partner a lot because
Uh-huh.
especially in the North America, that is uh, it's very hard to build something like one-stop solution to have all the
Sure.
features unless you are Databricks, right? So we work very nicely with our partner, for example, like Inference, Panda, Streamnative, and they are more focusing on this Kafka part or the
Oh,
message
wow.
bus part. And they more like storage for people to consolidate their real-time data, but
Mm.
they need a solution to process the data on the Kafka side, and yeah, we are one of the best options. So
Nice.
few times that is they try to convince the customer that hey, you can upgrade your Kafka or our
Uh-huh.
Kafka alternative, and the workload you are running might be too slow. For example, people might use Apache Flink or Apache Spark, which is completely open source, but it's
Mhm.
very heavy regarding the infrastructure cost, and also you need a set of senior engineer
Oh,
to
wow.
operate or write on it. So it may not be best fit for a fast growing company because, for example, we
Sure.
talk to some clients, they are focusing on very interesting domain, and they only have maybe two, three engineer on the data
Oh,
side. And it's
yeah.
not really about the budget or headcount, but they just don't want to spend too much money on the data side because they want to work on their
Right.
own domain to have this unfair advantage, right? So
Yeah.
people need a good solution, and yeah, sometimes we work with a partner, and the partner can bring us into some of the
Nice.
discussions. Yeah, and also that's all those the meetup, the technical conference,
Yep.
online or in person events, and yeah, we do our open source. So yeah, we
Nice.
also have some level of cold email or the LinkedIn
Nice.
approach. So we do whatever we can do to talk to the right person, which is
Yeah.
not really uh, more like junior engineers. It's more like architect,
That mid low. Yeah. Nice.
manager, or C level because they not just understanding the technical problem they are trying to solve, but also they know this balance and the business need, and they know
Yeah.
how urgent this, how important it is. And if you talk to someone who are very good at programming using Apache Flink, for example,
Hmm.
they don't have the strong need to like let me choose the other tool. So because they already spent like years to learning that
Oh,
previous framework, they don't want to no matter job security or whatever reasons they are
right.
hesitant to move to a new path. But if you talk to their boss, right, if or their boss or
Yeah.
boss, they really care about how to get things done in a
Ah,
manageable cost. So yeah, try to find what kind of customer or typical ICP you want to talk to, what kind
yep.
of a role you want to talk to, and whether they already have certain tools, and you can partner with those tool vendors and
100%.
choose the right chance to talk to them, no matter it's
Yeah.
online meetup or webinar or in-person
Yeah.
meetups, or try to reach out them on the LinkedIn. So yeah, we try different things. Maybe we don't try enough. We'll keep trying, but I guess
Absolutely.
my understanding that this is the norm for doing enterprise software. There's no shortcut always, right? You have to keep trying,
Nope.
and
Yep.
the customer will recognize and appreciate you.
100%. I love that. Yeah, trust me, I'm talking to, at least 3 to 4 people a week for our podcast looking for that secret sauce, and it's not out there, man. It's like it really seems like all the time that you guys are putting in to build, a really awesome solution for your customers, it's going to pay off in the long term, as far as like adoption and then people staying with you. And then also, like you said, there are those strategies out there where you can build those partnerships, you can go to conferences, and then you can also reach out to companies like and even very specific job titles that know it's a need for their business, and they're more willing to work with you because you understand their specific solution. So I think that it just gives, maybe a lot of other people that are in a similar space as you, that confirmation that they are on the right track, and to keep, building and providing the best solution that they possibly can, and that there is no secret sauce. So I really appreciate those insights. But another question that I always love to kind of follow up with that is, what would you say are some really big goals for Time Plus in the next 12 months? Like, are you guys rolling out any kind of new initiatives? working on any new like industries really, or do you guys have any like quantifiable goals in the next year or so?
Yeah, yeah, we keep a check what's all the options over there and try
Oh,
to
nice.
make the right move. And for example, we've been very successful regarding our client on the fintech space.
Oh,
And
yep.
but in the same time, we also have the customer, for example, on the e-commerce, on the security, and we our current thinking that is because we are, I mean, we can help some of the use cases on the either cybersecurity or post-trading
Mm,
analysis. But again, the entire team, our background is doing big data, streaming processing, software engineering, enterprise software, right? So,
yeah.
so this is our strength. Maybe this is also our weakness. But again, we don't want to pretend we are expert on the fintech. We don't want to pretend
Right.
we are
Yeah.
expert on cybersecurity. For example, our previous employer, Splunk, they hire more than
Uh,
hundreds domain experts on the security side. So
oh my
so
gosh.
today, if there's a security issues, tomorrow they will publish maybe some rules for you to do this. We are not in that space yet. So
Yeah.
we are so we will we already narrowed down our
Yep.
industrial domain. For example, in the past, we did a little bit on the IoT side. And
Oh,
later
wow.
on, we realized IoT may not have that strong requirement for low latency, right?
Gotcha.
And maybe also the budget wise is not as good as fintech. So
Uh,
we lower the priority of IoT. But again, our product essentially
uh
is a real-time data platform.
Yeah.
It's a data pipeline, it's a data engines, and we do very well on the trading on the security side. So
Nice.
we will work with our clients and also our partner to making sure those solutions can be well solved. But
Nice.
in the same time, we are now really going to all in particular
Yeah.
trading space. So that's
100%.
when a big firm choose us, they can
Uh,
start from a small space, but actually they can see other use cases can be implemented using Timeplus. So we
100%.
really looking forward to that kind of expansion, right? So it's very hard
Yeah.
to knock the door and get into on the table to discuss with bank or those trading
Like
companies.
that.
But once they use us for a small use case, they can figure out, yeah, yeah, this is so great, and we can use other use cases. So the
Love
expansion
that.
is can contribute a lot of our growth. And also, we are still relative small and quiet on
Yeah.
the space, and we will yeah we are working on some fundraising, and we will
Oh,
leverage that
nice.
budget to 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 be more exposed. Yeah, sometimes
Absolutely.
I'm not sure whether Google search engine is a good thing. We have never tried that, but
Yeah.
also people are talking about whether you can do this they call GEO, which is generative
Oh, yeah.
AI optimization.
Yep.
That is, if you can be mentioned by Gemini, by
100%.
Cloud, that would be great. People will follow the link to come to your site. Yeah, there's a lot of
I
things we
love it.
can try, and yeah, we are so happy to making sure our current customers are happy. Those customers can refer to other customers, or our partner can
Yep.
refer to us to others, and uh, yeah, we all see we are very open to build the new solutions. Yeah, we already have some
Nice.
solution for AI for our observability, but we don't really suddenly transform our company to be an AI company because our
Right.
core is a real-time platform. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you guys are providing more value in that space as well. And like I said, I think you guys focusing on making your customers happy is the biggest bet that I would make in the long term as well. Instead of focusing on, maybe focusing more on trying to acquire new customers as well. And so that I really always like to ask as well, like and I always get a different answer from everybody on the podcast. Some people have an answer and some people don't, but really the question is like hypothetically, if you could wave a magic wand and maybe solve one thing that's getting in the way of your guys' goals, which in this case you mentioned would be like expansion. Do you know maybe like what that one thing is that if solved, it's almost like the big domino, like everything else would kind of fall into place? Do you know maybe what that thing is?
Uh, yeah, I guess, um, yeah, I guess still is the awareness part, right?
Mm,
So, I mean, our product, when we are so confident that is we are
yeah.
the best. Yeah, if you have not really have a lot of power, you have a strong requirement for
Nice.
the low latency and the complex logic. We are so good on that space,
Nice.
and but not many people know us, right? So I have
Yeah.
limited influence on the linking. We can only join
Sure.
some of the meetup, and
Yeah.
some developers never join meetup. Some people never be active
Uh-huh.
on the linking, right? So how to making sure those data team who are suffering on those kind of a slow data pipeline and something they have to write a lot
Yeah.
of code, they don't have the budget, they don't have the people, how to
Yeah.
let those people, no matter tech lead or manager, know there's a solution for them. Even they can try our open source version. So that part is so hard. And
Yeah.
we try those like code mail or join the
Sure.
different community. But again, we only reach out to a very small percentage of
Yeah.
the target audience or the ICP. So
100%.
yeah, once they try our product, I
Right.
see this so many all time that is once they try our product, they are so surprised and they enjoy using us and more, right? So, but how to get to the first step is very hard.
Yep.
So awareness, if we can magically, uh, those are data team, they know Timeplus there and the benefit of us, and yeah, that will be 10x, 100x for our next step growth.
So if there's anybody that maybe wants to find out a little bit more about Time Plus, or maybe they even want to connect with you, I guess outside of the website, what would be the best social media platform really for them to go and connect?
Yeah, I'm being very active on LinkedIn. It's also more like learning platform for me, right? So I can understand what's going on for the test space or
Nice.
on the AI side. So I have multiple posts every week on LinkedIn. So find me on LinkedIn. And also, if you can join our Slack, which is so easy, timeplus.com/Slack, there's a shortcut. And you can
Oh,
discuss with me and the rest of the team and some of our users. So I'll share questions where I'll be more than happy to help. Right. So
nice.
have the follow our LinkedIn page. And also, yeah, we are open source. So if you can uh, search Time Plus Bottom on GitHub and bookmark it by giving a star, that'll be fantastic. And we keep adding new features and answer
Nice.
questions there. So you don't have to start from enterprise. But again, there's more features on enterprise for sure. But if you have certain preference, you can always start from open source versions.
Nice. Awesome. And I'll be sure to include links in the description, to your guys' Slack community, the GitHub link as well, and then the website and social media. So I highly recommend that you guys do go check out Time Plus and all the awesome things that they're working on. But, really other than that, Jove, I just wanted to thank you so much again for your time and for your insights today.
Yeah, I mean, Tyson, I'm so glad that is you can invite me and let me share my experience. I'm also enjoy all the content you have. So it's more like a learning journey for me and for everyone to see what's the option over there, what kind of thing they try and what
Yeah.
not, and figure out what's the best way for your own business. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to more conversation like that and hearing the good story from your audience.
Absolutely. And yeah, if you guys do have any questions for Jove on anything that we talked about, really feel free to drop your question in the comments in the YouTube video or on my post on LinkedIn. And maybe we can bring Jove back for a second, a Q&A if you're open to it. I know I kind of put you on the spot, but we'd love to have you back on for another episode. So
Yeah, I'm always happy to contribute to my ideas. Yeah.
awesome. That's great. Well, there you have it, guys. We will catch you in the next video.